Hello guys, it's Nika here. Hope you're having a wonderful day. It is November 16, 2023, and we need to talk. It's been a long day at work today, so it was kind of nice getting out, and as I'm scrolling through my news app, I see that there's somebody who's going to be unalived today in Texas from a crime back in 2001. His last name is Renteria, and he was accused of murdering a 5-year-old girl by strangulation and then burning the body. So, sounds pretty morbid. And then I keep scrolling on the app and I see a small snippet of his attorneys. And they're saying, yeah, we've actually tried to appeal who knows how many times now. And within the last few years, apparently, there has been evidence to say and show Renteria's has not been involved in the crime, that he is not guilty. And then I keep scrolling and scrolling, and I go through to the messages of the people reading the article, and of course, 99% of people are like, yes, get rid of him, unalive him. We can't wait. Finally, finally we get something good. We get something good tonight. We get a body who caused harm to such a young girl. And because I have a background in psychology, I understand these human emotions. I understand that when we're talking about young people, a 5-year-old girl losing her life, or even in the case of the IDAHO4 case, 4 young people losing their lives, it makes it so that people's brains just can't think. You can't think. You spaz. You get too freaking emotional. And again, I understand we're human, but you have to give people benefit of the doubt. So when I saw that tiny snippet of his attorney saying that there was evidence to show that Renteria, the man who's being injected tonight, is not guilty, I want to see that evidence. I don't care what other people are saying. They want a head, they want a body to burn, basically. I want to see the evidence. And I understand that's not how our court systems work currently, because once there's been so much time and money and energy into a case, I feel there's this mentality of like, let's just get it over with. It doesn't matter what evidence pops up. And that is disturbing. And if that doesn't disturb you, then you may have an issue. And I think people are able to alienate themselves from being disturbed from somebody potentially being innocent because they believe that whoever is being accused of a crime is 100% guilty. And really, nobody knows. Unless you were there, we don't really know. Unless there was a camera there, we don't really know. So, for me, I always give people the benefit of the doubt, especially in such harsh conditions where your life might be on the line. And I always tell people, imagine if it was your son or daughter, such as Bryan Kohberger. Imagine if it was your son or daughter being accused of a crime. Because for Bryan Kohberger, they are also seeking the death penalty. And in Idaho, it's not a pretty injection like in Texas. You get a firing squad, my friend. Yes, a firing squad. And it seems quite antiquated to me when I first heard that. I'm like, that sounds really old school. Should just take you out in the backyard like Old Yeller. So weird. But people cheer for that. Why? Because they think this person is 100% guilty, and we can never really know that unless, like I said, there was a camera or there's enough evidence. But imagine your child in the position of BK has been in solitary confinement for almost a year. Not a shred of decent evidence. Not one freaking shred of decent evidence. Don't give me pings. I have lived in tiny towns before. There's only so many towers in the small town. You're going to get so many pings. It's a small town. I mean, actual evidence. Don't give me that touch DNA stuff. I have worked in a laboratory for over a decade. I know how DNA works, especially touch DNA. Do not give me that story. And I know the majority of you have probably not worked in laboratories. Most of you probably have no clue how DNA actually works, especially touch DNA. So you form your opinion by what you read online or your, Google searches, that's fine. But I need evidence, actual evidence, to condemn this man to a firing squad. This is a human being, and people are so quickly to forget that this person may be innocent. They may be getting the firing squad, despite the case being chaotic, messy, disgusting, gut-wrenching, vomit-inducing, along with everyone involved in it, from Moscow PD to the FBI now, to the whole thing is a mess. It's a hot mess. I had never seen such a case. Well, maybe except for the other one in Delphi, Indiana, which, by the way, I used to live there. So it's not good, friends. It's not good. It's not looking good for those two cases. And what was interesting to me was that I sat down and talked to some of my coworkers, and I talked to some of my veteran friends as well about how they felt about the unaliving penalty. And most people said, yeah, let's do it. Why not? Why wouldn't you do it? Why would you keep this man or woman in a prison, fed by taxpayers, clothed by taxpayers, when you can just put a few bullets in him in the backyard and call it a day, basically? Why would you spend thousands on an injection? Even. And on top of that, they threw, it's more humane to use a bullet, they said. And I'm like, more humane? I guess if that makes you feel better about a firing squad. But really, there have been cases where, guess what? The bullet doesn't go where it's supposed to go. It ends up getting an organ or the hip. And there was a case where the guy was left to bleed out. I think it took over 15 minutes. So don't tell me it's humane. Don't sweeten it for me. Tell me what you really think. I want to know in the comment sections. I want to know. Are you for the penalty? Are you against the penalty? For me personally, I have not made up my mind yet. But one thing I am 100% sure of is that if we are to give somebody the unalive penalty, you need to be not 110% sure that you're going to do it. And by firing squad, do I agree with firing squad? Hell no. You know why? Because again, I understand psychology, and I advise all of you watching right now to go Google and research the Milgram experiment. It's about obedience and what people do to other people, harm, brutality, how far people will go to hurt others. And if it involves consequences being lessened, such as in the case of a firing squad, more people are more likely to do bad things. More people are more likely to say, yeah, he's guilty. Let's just shoot him. Because when I asked my veteran friends, would you volunteer for the firing squad? They said, yes, all of them. Like, let's do it. Sounds like fun. And when I ask, would they do an injection? Half of them, only half of them. Why is that? Because we are removing blame. We are shifting blame. How? When we have a group of people who are also doing bad things or things that affect our conscience or make us feel guilty. And we have 20 other people doing those with us, those bad things, or those things that give us ick, that feeling that ick, I may be a bad person. We are more likely to do those things. They said, the injection feels just so personal. I'll skip the injection. It's supposed to be personal. You are unaliving somebody. What do you think? But I understand, because in a firing squad, now it's all of you, right? Meaning, well, this feels wrong, but my buddies did it too. Or other people did it too. So I must not be so bad. Even in the cases where, let's say you might have an inkling that VK is not guilty. Let's say you are that one person in the firing squad and you say, I don't know, I don't feel good about this. I don't think he actually did it. And you still choose to be part of the firing squad. You know what the squad will make your brain do? It will make you say, you know what? He may not be guilty, but it is what it is. We are here, and the rest of them are doing it. Let's just carry on. Get this over with and push it in the back of my brain. Because when you read those experiences of people who have worked on death row, giving people injections, you know what they say? They have nightmares. They have PTSD. Yes, actual post-traumatic stress disorder. They have an actual PTSD diagnosis, because that is how personal it is. That is how traumatic it is. And part of me is like, yeah, we don't really want people to experience that, right? Because they're just doing their job. But the other part of me says, no, they should experience that. You took a life away. And in several cases, these lives that have been taken away by the state, in several cases, these men are later found out, and I say men because most of the cases have been men, are later found out to be not guilty. And what does the state do? Oops, we effed up, sorry, oops. We'll try not to do it again. Yet here we are in 2023. A man is about to be executed tonight. And what am I reading? I'm reading his attorney saying there's evidence he is not guilty. And here we are doing not 2023 things. I mean, they are, because we're doing them now, but I feel like we would have grown past this. Do I have an answer of how our justice system should handle these cases? I don't. But I do have ideas on how we could potentially improve them. And for me is giving people the benefit of the doubt. Because I don't care if it's the day that person is supposed to be executed. If you have actual evidence, I want to see it. Because that could be the evidence that saves your daughter or your son one day and gets him out of a firing squad, because your child was actually a good person and they actually didn't commit the crime. It's funny when we play this role reversal and we actually put ourselves in the shoes of a position where we are the ones potentially being unalived. It gives us a different perspective, because like I've said before, I think we underestimate the capacity of our system to just take people in and not give them an actual trial, a decent trial, a fair trial. So let me know in the comments what you think about the executions? What do you think about the unalive penalty? If you are for, I'm sure that 99% people are for it. I'm almost positive. And I'm also sure that most people are for the squad because it's cheaper. But again, don't let yourself be emotional about these things, about these young people involved. Think and follow evidence. And if that evidence is not 110% concrete, then reevaluate. So I hope you guys have a good day. Can people watch these on TV? I hope not. I mean, I don't think so, but I could see them filming probably outside of Texas tonight. So maybe I'll go watch and see, because to me, it's always interesting to watch how people act outside of these, when these injections and unaliving processes are happening. People usually are, yeah, ooh. It's just kind of weird. It's I don't know. I think it's weird. I don't think it's weird. So yeah, I'm gonna go now. I have to eat some food. Oh, someone told me I had perfect brows, by the way, so they're a little crazy. You guys have a good day.